Hello and welcome to my brand new channel, Review the 250, your first stop for all the latest and greatest news, reviews and analysis. I've been writing reviews for about 3 weeks now and I've really enjoyed it. If you haven't visited my blog yet, I'll put a link in the video description for you. I just thought I'd try my hand at video blogging because I've got, so many reviews to tell. Like I said, if you go to my blog, you can see that my goal is to review the entire of the IMDb 250 list. It's going to be an absolutely huge task, so I thought, well, to save me some time as well as just writing essays, I thought I'd do some video reviews, and it's much more entertaining and visual to watch as opposed to just reading constantly. So I thought my first video, I'm going to cover a topic that's very close to my heart, and it's going to be in the news over the next, a lot in the next 5 years, so I think it's very useful for you to all know what you're talking about it. And that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly phases 2 and 3. Basically, what I want this video to achieve, I want anybody who is interested in the Marvel Universe, up to getting up to speed with it, or maybe is looking forward to Thor, have watched Iron Man, but doesn't really get how it fits into this whole shared universe, which people still struggle to understand the concept, because I mean it is a big deal. It's a set of films that all occupy the same film, so you could get Iron Man just coming into Thor's universe, and it would be okay because it's all happening in the same shared Earth and space. So what I want to achieve is I'm basically going to give you an entire rumour roundup. So everything we know, everything we think we know about the upcoming phase 2 and 3, it's all going to be, I'm going to put in these 2 videos. I'm going to do a video now on phase 2 and then a video on the possibilities of phase 3. So we'll see how it goes. So the reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so important at the moment is that, for a start, they've produced 2 of the top highest grossing films of all time, which is a huge deal. First is Avatar with $2.7 billion, then Titanic with 2.2, then The Avengers grossed $1.5 billion at the box office, which is a big deal for a comic book film. Then Harry Potter Part 7, Part 2, which grossed $1.3 billion at the box office. And then Iron Man 3, which is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, grossed $1.2 billion. This is great for Marvel, but it's also very good for Disney. First of all, a bit of background into the history of Marvel. It was its own kind of company up until 2009, where Marvel Entertainment, the whole unit, was bought by Disney in 2009 for $4.24 billion. It's obviously a lot of money, but so far the first 7 films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, on a $1.2 billion budget over the total of the 7 films, has brought Disney back $5 billion, which means they've so far made $3.8 billion in profit. So that in 4 years to almost get your money back is very good, quite frankly. And obviously, because of the huge success of Avengers and then Iron Man 3, the rumour mills, as you can imagine, are going crazy for the upcoming 2 phases of the Marvel Universe. Phase 2, we've already had 1 film from Phase 2, and that was Iron Man 3. So, and I'm glad it's done a high gross, because there was a bit of controversy in the about the ending. Well, not the ending, but the big twist. I'll refer to it as the big twist, because you'll hear a lot of people, if you've read a lot of reviews, refer to it as the big twist, because obviously we don't want to give it away, and it's something you can go and see. You won't necessarily appreciate it unless you kind of read the comics and know the characters. But it's a big twist involving the Mandarin, which is interesting. And I thought it was hilarious, and my mum and sister thought it was absolutely hilarious. But it riled a few people, a few comic book nerds, rattling their cages a bit. But I'm really glad it did well. The controversy recently has been over Robert Downey Jr. There were rumours, well, I think it's confirmed that he got $50 million for doing Avengers, which is a lot higher than his cast members, and it's also one of the highest single paychecks ever paid for a film. We thought that was bad enough, but apparently he's been demanding more money for Avengers 2 and 3. And of course, as people know, especially if you think about Mark Ruffalo playing the Hulk when it was Edward Norton, Marvel have absolutely no hesitation about recasting people. They're quite firm on that. You know, they'd rather spend the money elsewhere, which is wise, I think, because you can't pay actors too much, otherwise they get too big-headed. They start demanding more and more and more, and then it just gets out of control. You end up paying more in wage than you do for the actual film. But then again, you can always look at it like, well, if it's grossing ridiculous figures like 1.2 billion, is he worth it? You know, he might well be. But I mean, that's for you to decide. Really, it's a matter of opinion. But I think it's far too much. But there was good news when they have confirmed they've got a deal. So he will be definitely starring in Avengers 2 and 3. So far, though, not Iron Man 4. There's absolutely no deal done for an Iron Man 4. So over the next over the next 5 years, there shouldn't be an Iron Man 4 unless they can sign him on after Avengers 3, which is all the way in 2017 or something. But I think that's unlikely to happen. I think after Phase 3, he's just going to go, which is a shame because I do like Robert Downey Jr. At the end of the day, he is Iron Man. Who else are you going to cast as Iron Man? But that's the news for now. So at least we got him for Avengers 2 and 3. So it's very exciting. So the Thor sequel, which is going to be film 2 of the Marvel Phase 2, Thor: The Dark World, which is going to be released. The American release date is November 2013. So we should get it soon after here in the UK. There was a bit of controversy around this film as well. Patty Jenkins was signed on to direct it after Kenneth Branagh directed the first. And she dropped out quite early on in the process. And Natalie Portman didn't like this. Natalie Portman, who plays Jane Foster, Thor's girlfriend. She really didn't like this, and she was close to dropping out. Now, of course, she can't do this because she's contractually obliged. She has to do it. I think she signed on for how many films she signed her contract for. So she had to do it, but she's not happy about doing it. Which is a bit sad, I think, because I hope she can put that aside and just make a good film, because I think the fans deserve it. After the loyalty so far. Loki's back as well. Loki, the villain from Thor 1 and Avengers Assemble 1. He's back, and if you've seen the trailer for the Thor 2, which is out now, I'll put a I'll put a link down in the video description. He's back, and if you look at the trailer, he's got quite a dramatic, nice entrance, I think. Even though Loki coming back is a big deal for me, and especially anyone who loves the Avengers, I'm personally looking forward to seeing Christopher Eccleston as Malekith. For people who aren't that familiar with Christopher Eccleston, he played the first Doctor. He was only there for one series. But he's my favourite Doctor, and he's just great. Absolutely, he's one of my favourite actors of all time. Really like his work, and I'm really glad that he's managed to get involved with such a big franchise. It's going to be really, really great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in it. Right, I've gone over, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this video on pause. This is going to be part 1 of Phase 2, and I'm now going to make another video, part 2 of Phase 2. So do just go and click right on it. It should be right next to the one on my channel. Thank you very much for watching so far, and it should be uploaded very soon. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.